Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. We just hit 40.5k subscribers. Let's get to 41k by the end of the month. Please like this video down below and subscribe to the channel before we get started. But I have to first tell you guys about my friends over at Lear Capital. We all knew the market had to correct at some point, right? But nobody could have imagined what we're seeing today. COVID-19 is a human tragedy, and it's also an economic tragedy as the global economy is collapsing all around us. How will the markets respond from this point forward? Many economists are predicting a third quarter recovery, but there's still so many unknowns that it's simply impossible to say. One thing is for sure, though, you just can't flip a switch and expect everything to return to normal. But headlines are suggesting that there is an upside, and the next upside is gold. If you want to make money in 2020, gold and silver are looking like a good bet according to Money Week, and that's why many Americans are making the decision to diversify into gold. Since 1997, Lear Capital has been America's top destination for gold, IRA, and precious metal sales. Mention this channel and receive a free silver coin with your first purchase. Call 800-819-2495 now. We will show you how easy it is to buy, sell, or trade your metals. Call 800-819-2495. That's 800-819-2495, or submit a request from the link in the description. And today I'm here to tell you guys why it's important not to give up, not to be demoralized in this election cycle. And we obviously know that the polls have not looked good for Donald Trump, but that does not necessarily mean he's going to lose. That does not necessarily mean that he is over. And it is very important that we, as conservatives, as Americans, that we need to ignore them to a certain extent. We can use the polls for some things. We can use the polls to measure what direction the election is going in, but right now, we just can't buy the polls because the polls don't make sense. When you weight the polls, Trump does a little bit better, but some of the polls showing Trump losing independents by 30 points when even John McCain lost them by, I think, 5 or 6 back in 2008 when he lost his historic defeat makes absolutely zero sense to me. And obviously a lot of the other crosstabs make zero complete sense. When the fact that some of these polls show Trump down by 30 among college-educated whites, it doesn't exactly make sense. It reduces the pollsters' credibility. Because even in 2018, which was a D+9 electorate, Republicans lost them by either 4 if you use the Fox exit polls, or 8 if you use the CNN exit polls. And this kind of stuff is why I just refuse to exactly trust the polls or put too much stock into them. And if you look at the past election cycles, it's not necessarily always who's leading 4 months away from the election that wins. Again, Michael Dukakis held a 4-point lead 4 months away from the election. I think a month before this, he held a vastly wide lead. There was even a point in time during the summer of 1984 where Walter Mondale and Ronald Reagan were neck and neck. There was a period of time in 1980 when Jimmy Carter was ahead significantly late in the fall. Back in 2016, Hillary Clinton had a 7-point lead with just a few weeks to go. So anything is really possible. You can't just look at a couple of polls now and get completely demoralized. That's what they want to happen. This election, make no mistake, is going down the wire. Everybody has to vote. Get out and vote. Vote like he's down 1. Vote like we can do this. We got to get everybody together. We got to go out there and we got to outvote them because this election really comes down to turnout. Again, there's over 100 million Trump supporters out there. There's over 100 million Biden supporters out there. Yet you can expect the winner of this election to get somewhere in the ballpark of 70 million votes. Trump easily, if he's able to turn out his base completely, he's able to do well. There's these misconceptions that Trump was only doing well in 2016 because of the anti-Hillary sentiment. That's not exactly true, and if it was true, he solidified some of that anti-Hillary sentiment into his current base now. If you want to look at this election through the Trump lens of the Trump supporters, 81% of Trump supporters are voting for Trump. These are the people that are energized to come out and vote for something. Only 18% of Trump supporters are primarily voting against Joe Biden. And if you look at the Biden bros and you see where they are coming from in their decision, 35% of them are voting mostly for Biden. 62% are just voting against Trump. And that sentiment's not going to be enough to get him to the finish line. Because even if you look at the exit polls from the D+9 electorate of the midterms, Donald Trump only had a 45% strongly disapprove approval rating. So clearly the resist crowd is not 50% of the population. That's not going to be enough to get Joe Biden to the finish line. And a lot of Biden supporters, they're not driving up enthusiasm. One can look at primary turnout and say, oh, well, Biden is improving on even Hillary and Bernie's margins back in 2016. But that just seems to be the way things are when it comes to elections. Every cycle, there's more involvement in the primaries. And if you look at Trump's primary turnout, he has the record for an incumbent president who's running unopposed, by the way, in terms of primary turnout voters in this election cycle. He's got close to 17 million. I'm sure he's going to hit 17 million when all the votes are counted. And that's with states like New York. That's with states canceling their primary. So easily he could have hit 18, maybe even 19 or 20 million if every single state was going to tally the primary turnout votes. So clearly Donald Trump is doing a lot better than a lot of people think he's doing. It just the polls are not showing it right now. So I don't exactly know why that is, because Trump's approval has relatively remained unchanged through this. Biden hasn't really been in the spotlight to make a difference, but still, and you look at the crosstabs, they don't make sense. You weight them properly, they make slightly more sense. But the bottom line is, not a whole lot of people are switching sides, and this election is going down the wire. And clearly, you have the conventions that are going to come up. You have the conventions. Biden's convention is going to be mainly, I believe, a virtual convention. It's going to be hilarious. I'm sure it's going to be ripe with technical difficulties. Very few people are going to get excited to watch the Biden DNC. That's going to be an ultimate disaster. The Republicans and Trump, his RNC is going to be a lot bigger of a deal in Jacksonville. I really believe that since his is later, he's going to see the edge, and he is going to reap the benefits more of the convention bump leading up to the debates. And we can talk about the debates because Trump is going to attack Biden effectively in the debates, because if you look at Biden, he kind of got a fair shake in terms of not getting attacked, although he said crazy things during the later debates, and he did fall in the polls after some of them, especially the ones around Iowa or New Hampshire, but he kind of rebounded towards the end. He wasn't really attacked. The Democrats spent most of their time attacking Bloomberg, and that's why Biden was able to cruise to so many victories come Super Tuesday. So you look at the debate back in the summer of 2019 when Biden was actually attacked fairly well by Kamala Harris, and Biden's stock tanked completely. Kamala Harris's stock rose. And Biden, unlike Hillary Clinton, is not really even capable of forming a complete sentence. Donald Trump is going to be able to go out there and to utterly handle the situation and take care of Joe Biden fairly easily, and that's going to boost him a few points in the polls. Again, Trump only needs to get the popular vote total down to Biden +4, and at that point, he has a very good chance at winning re-election. Trump's also going to be campaigning a lot more than Biden. He will bring a lot more energy than Biden to the table. You can guarantee that Biden is going to be doing a lot less rallies than Trump. He has very low energy, a lot lower energy than even Hillary Clinton does, so that's actually hilarious. But the bottom line is looking forward to the election and election night, where the election map stands. It's hypothetically going to be very hard to see Biden manage to do better than the Democrats did in the blue wave of the 2018 midterms. The bottom line is Trump is guaranteed 249 electoral votes. That's based on where they did well in the midterms or the primary turnout or a mix of both. And the Democrats are guaranteed 210 electoral votes. I can't see Trump doing better than 328. That's his ceiling. The floor is 248, 249. So roughly one would expect that the middle of those two numbers would vastly be enough for Donald Trump to end up winning this election. And the bottom line is he just needs 2 states. He'll have a great chance at getting Arizona. He needs to get the undecided third-party voters from last time on board who were previously conservative. Again, the state hadn't given 45% of its vote to a Democrat since 1996, and while I do think Biden will top that, I don't think he's going to top it by much, and I do think Donald Trump is going to win the state of Arizona when it's all said and done. Also, you see very low Hispanic enthusiasm for Biden, and that's going to help Trump vastly in places like Texas, Arizona, Florida, even Nevada to a certain degree, although Nevada might be a little far-fetched for Trump to win at this point. And the other state that Trump needs to win is Wisconsin. Again, he's doing better in the Milwaukee area. He's holding, hopefully he can hold the rural margins in western Wisconsin. And if he's able to do those two things and boost Republican turnout as much as possible, he's already reelected. So it's easier really to do it than it is to say it at this point when you look at all of the factors that go into this. It's not just the polling data. The polls can tell us part of the story, but I can't really trust these polls. They're even worse than they were last time. I don't see Biden winning this election cycle, let alone by 10%. If Biden wins, he's probably, going to win the popular vote by 5 or so. He's not going to win it by 10, but we can't get demoralized. This is anybody's game. Republicans have to unify together. Trump supporters have to unify together, put aside our differences, and fight so we can ensure 4 more years of Trump and not 4 more years of a senile old man controlled by globalist and far-left interests. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. Join the Discord and subreddit. Donate to the Patreon or subscribe. Star links in description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.